co-host of the Recast podcast, where they do Hollywood's job of recasting remakes before it gets released on Netflix. One of the most well-informed political minds I've met in comedy is quirky, out-of-context comedy reels showcase a brain with 20 open tabs. Everybody, make the noise for Jason Zaremba.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be here, man. I'm so into conspiracy theories. I want to open up by talking about conspiracy theories, if that's all right with you guys. I don't want this to get demonetized or anything on YouTube, but I'm so into conspiracy theories. I think the COVID vaccine killed JFK. You know, like that's the level I'm working with, you know? The best part about being into conspiracy theories is winning every argument, though. Like seriously, you win every argument. Because winning an argument, in my mind, that means that the conversation ended on your terms. There's no better way to end a conversation than to tell someone that you think Katy Perry is JonBenet Ramsey. That'll do it every time. I don't even know who JonBenet Ramsey is. All I know is whenever I bring him up, people just back away slowly and I win, you know? The only problem with being into conspiracy theories, though, is agreeing with Alex Jones sometimes. That doesn't feel good to do, you know? You gotta be careful, too, because conspiracy theories, they'll get anti-Semitic real quick, you know? Like, you know, there's those people out there that believe that Jews control the weather, and for those people, I have two words: pollen season, all right? I don't know why we would do that to ourselves. It's a problem. Man, but this is good. It's good to be here. I recently did a show at a swingers bar. Of all the places to run into your parents, you guys, that's a problem. I mean, Mom, Dad, Kevin, Bacon, how do you guys know each other? That's not even the worst show I did. I once did a stand-up comedy show at a children's hospital. That shouldn't happen. That can't. You can't walk into a children's hospital and be like, "Hey, how you guys doing?" You know how they're doing, all right? It's not good. Hey, summer's coming up for some of you. All right, that's too dark. I'm sorry, that's too dark. You know, they didn't laugh either. They didn't have the energy. I just turned 30. You know, that usually gets a round of applause. 30 years old, right? That's great. I love it. I love being in my 30s. I know I just started, but I've had friends in their 30s for a while, you know? And so I know now I can just blame any problem in my life on my age. I was talking to a friend of mine one time who was like 32, and he was like, "Man, ever since I turned 30, I keep almost shitting my pants." And I was 23. I was like, I think that's a you thing, dude. Like, that's not turning 30, that's turning 90, my friend, all right? And I've been 30 for a month, and I hit him up. I was like, when did that start? What should I expect? I was in an awkward situation recently, to the surprise of no one. I was out in public, and I ran into someone that I went to high school with. That's awkward. That is awkward, at least for me. Well, it was especially awkward because we were in the bathroom at the time. And she just looked at me and was like, "What are you doing in here? This is the women's room." Yep. Am I right, dudes? Where my dudes at? And being misogynistic, ironically. But what do you do in those moments? You know, you really test yourself in that, you know? I decided to own it. I owned it. I was like, "Excuse me, the bathroom? What does it smell like I'm doing in here, lady?" Right? "I'm trying to masturbate. Could you keep it down?" I know you guys are laughing, but I'm never going to that Arby's again, all right? Because I got fired, so it's not an option. I actually found a pair of glasses on the floor of a public bathroom. Right in front of the toilet. Right in front of the toilet. That's insane. A 1,000 questions come into my head immediately. I'm just kind of like, all right, what happened here? Whose glasses are these? Why didn't I stay in college? You know, those kinds of things. And what I think happened was that somebody was going poop. And they squeezed so hard that it gave them sight, and that's a miracle. That's a miracle if I've ever heard of one. Really, that's just the magic of Taco Bell. So that's, Thank you. I bought condoms recently.
Whoa.
That's great. People act like buying condoms is embarrassing. And I don't know why. Like, buying condoms isn't embarrassing. Returning condoms is embarrassing. You want to talk embarrassment? This guy knows what I'm talking about, right? Returning condoms. Buying condoms is great. You slap that box down on the counter with confidence. Cashier gives you a high five. Returning condoms, that's not the scenario. You're not making eye contact with anyone in that CVS. You sheepishly slide that box across the counter with the receipt. Cashier looks at you like a disappointed baseball coach, just... All right, what'd you do this time? Where'd you go wrong? Where'd you go wrong this time? You talked about Israel again, didn't you? How many times are we having this conversation? That's it. Hand over your penis. Give it here. Give me your penis. Give it up. You're not using it. So you give him your penis, right? This guy knows what I'm talking about. You got to go to the pants store now. A girl starts talking to you. You can't do anything because you just gave your penis to a CVS cashier. And full disclosure, I was high when I wrote this joke. All right, sue me. Sue me. And yeah, that's a cop-out a lot of comics like to use when a punchline isn't as funny as it really should be. But I'll do anything for a laugh, ladies and gentlemen. That's something about me. So I'm buying condoms. And I looked at the different types of condoms that they have, Like I saw they have lambskin condoms for those of us that keep kosher, right? I saw they have, of course, Magnum condoms. There's also Magnum PI condoms. Those have a little mustache. And that joke usually does best with boomers. They dig it, but... There's also Trojan Fire, which, those have a warming sensation, which must be nice, but the trial and error that went into finding the right temperature must have been an issue. Like, the number of overcooked penises leaving the Trojan factory that day? I mean, seriously.
Oh, man.
Some guy goes limping home. His wife's like, "Oh, honey, how was work?" "I'm not talking about it. I do not want to talk about it. Where's the aloe vera?" There's her pleasure condoms. Fellas, how we gonna... We're just gonna take that from... Because that's Trojan winking at us being like, "Yeah, dude, you're gonna need our help. All right, you're not getting that much done. And I'm ribbed. I'm ribbed. And I don't know what it means either, but drives her crazy." Cool. That's the problem? It's not bumpy enough? Good to know. Good to know. I'm glad it's not bumpy or hot enough. You know what? Get herpes. If that's what you're looking for, just get herpes. I actually saw a box of condoms labeled "His Pleasure," and when I opened the box, it was empty. So that's a joke that wrote itself, and I'm going to close on that. Thank you guys very much.
Y'all get up with Jason. That's funny. Hey, stay right there. I have questions.
Yeah, all right, questions.
All right, so the Children's Hospital. Did that happen, or was that like this material?
That happened. That actually happened.
How did you get booked for that?
So Miguel, who runs Dynamic Eldorado, this other venue, he asked me, he was like, "Hey, I also work at a children's hospital. Would you be willing to host a show there?" And I was like, "Sure, never say no to a gig, right?"
Okay.
And so then he said host a show. I thought I was just gonna MC. I didn't realize I was supposed to be the one putting it together.
Okay.
So he had me organizing with the lady that runs things there. And honestly, my favorite part of that isn't actually my story. Mm-hmm. But a friend of mine, AJ Cagle, who was booked on the show, he showed up before the rest of us. He got there early. And he walked into a children's hospital, walked up to the main desk, and was like, "I'm here for the comedy show."
Hey, this is just a friendly reminder from the good people at the Atlanta Late Night Show. Like, share, subscribe, We can't grow if the people don't know. Do your part.